What can I get you today? The barista asked as Dora approached the counter. He was cute in a tall, rugged, bearded sort of way. She cocked her head as she looked up at the menu board and pursed her lips. She was in the mood for something decadent, though she knew she should just order chai tea. But what was the point of playing hooky from work if it wasn't to do something naughty? I'll have a tall mocha latte. Whipped cream, he asked, as he pulled the cup from the stack beside him.
A bit louder, though.
I could not get louder. I could never pass it up. She flashed him her best smile. She could really use a treat, and he looked perfectly delicious. What's the name on that? He asked, the black Sharpie poised for writing. Dora. She accentuated the O and the R, once again pursing her lips as if she was blowing him a kiss. He didn't seem to notice, even though he looked her in the face. Maybe that was the problem. What else can I get you, Dora? He was ever attentive in a way most men so rarely were. She leaned over, allowing her gold chain to sway a moment as she eyed the confections at the top of the pastry case. One finger pressed to her bottom lip. She was tempted by a chocolate cheesecake square. That ecstasy bar looks lonely. She tapped the glass with a lacquered finger. The charms on her namesake bracelet flashed in the artificial light. What do you think? I just made those this morning. His eyes never strayed, despite the enticements she offered. They're always the first to disappear. Well, if she couldn't have him, she'd just have to settle for something sweet while she waited for Evie, and Evie was always late. She straightened. You convinced me, I'll take it. He retrieved the pastry and set a fork beside it on the plate, exchanging it for her credit card. We'll call your name when your drink is ready. Dora sashayed toward the end of the purple overstuffed bench, lining one wall behind a row of tables, each with a hard-backed chair opposite. The silver linen shirt of her business suit swished against her bare legs as her heels clicked across the faux stone floor. She cast a final coquettish glance over her shoulder. His attention was already fixed on the next customer. Setting the plate on the table to claim her spot, she retrieved a couple paper napkins and a coffee stirrer, pausing to study the bulletin board behind the milk and sugar station. Nothing new or interesting there, just another yoga class she might check out. It seemed Pilates had fallen out of favor. As she turned away, another barista called her name. She returned to the counter to scoop up her drink and wended her way back to the corner through the scattered tables. She set her cup beside the plate in front of her, slipped off her shoes, and curled her legs up beneath the velveteen bench. Glorious sun streamed through the windows behind her. Finally, perfect late spring day. Just a touch too warm to sit outside. That and the patio was way too close to the well-trafficked road anyway. She had no desire to go back to the office smelling like diesel, and no desire to shout to be heard. Dora cut a bite from her confectionery square with the side of her fork. Luxurious chocolate and creamy cheesecake melted in her mouth. She popped the sipping lid from a mocha latte and swirled it with a coffee stirrer. She licked the stick afterwards, letting the rough chocolate-soaked wood linger in her mouth a moment before she pulled it from between her lips. This is what missing work was all about. She studied one of the art prints on the cafe walls, Thomas Cole's Garden of Eden. It wasn't quite his Journey of Life series, but it still captivated her, like so many Hudson River School landscapes, easy for me to say. Perhaps they captured the romantic fantasy of peaceful, natural coexistence in a way well beyond her experience. And the humans were so small, almost insignificant. Nothing like her tradition where the people were all larger than life and foremost in the eyes of heaven. More like Evie's. Or was she anyway? Dora slipped the lid back on her mocha latte and dug out her compact. She checked her perfectly coiffed French braid in the mirror and touched up her lipstick, a burnt crimson that accentuated her Aegean eyes, auburn hair, and alabaster skin. As she snapped the case closed, she decided she should make a quick check of her emails, so she pulled her tablet from her bag. She was still brushing her finger idly through the menus when Evie slumped into the chair across from her. Sorry I'm late, her friend said. She set a plate with a slice of banana walnut bread on the table and hooked her purse over the back of the blonde wood chair. We had a little time out in the car on the way to soccer practice. Dora dropped her tablet back in her bag. Turning to her friend, she asked, How are those boys of yours? They must be getting big by now. They're still a handful. Evie blew the stray strands of dirty blonde hair that had wormed their way loose from her ponytail away from her eyes before brushing them back beyond an ear. They've hit the sibling rivalry stage with a vengeance. I swear those two will be the death of me if they don't kill each other first. I envy you, your kids. I don't think I'll ever find the right man. Dora cast a long look back at the counter. A barista was coming off shift. He had just removed his apron and was now hugging a petite Filipino man. They smiled. They strolled out arm in arm. Well, that explained it. It's not all it's cracked up to be. He took a sip from her coffee and scowled. I swear someone put 2% in this soy milk again. I'll bet this Italian roast isn't even fair trade organic. Oh, I better get the phone out in case he calls. She set her cup down and started digging through her purse. He thinks I'm running errands. Is he still checking up on you? Dora shook her head. It's not right. You should say something. He's gotten much better. Evie smiled apologetically. She set the smartphone on the table between them. You should have seen him before we had to move. He barely let me out of his sight. My ex was the same way. Dora took another bite of the ecstasy bar. Did I ever tell you he wouldn't let me buy any clothes? Evie's eyes grew wide. Did he expect you to run around naked? Seemed like that for the first bunch of years. Dora smiled wickedly. My husband was the same way, like I wasn't going to notice. Evie rolled her eyes. What's wrong with men anyway? Dora smiled sympathetic as she picked up her mocha latte. I think I should just give up on them. You aren't missing it, trust me. Evie broke off and nibbled a corner of her banana walnut bread. You know, he still blames me for getting kicked out by his boss. Ever since that thing with the tree in the backyard, he has no curiosity, no drive. He thinks coming up with a name for the dog is a major accomplishment. And he didn't even care that I might have been bitten by a snake. An apple a day, right? Dora raised an eyebrow, still smiling, her sea blue eyes twinkling mischievously. Did I tell you I caught him texting his old girlfriend Lilith? Evie blew across her coffee to cool it. God love her, but that woman is a demon. Oh, I don't know. Dora took another sip from her cup. Everything you've said about her reminds me a little bit of me. Oh no, he protested. You're beautiful and gifted. You run your own company. I run someone else's company, Dora. And you're just as pretty as me. Evie didn't seem to know. Lilith is just a slut. Why do you put up with it, Dora asked, guiding the subject back to safer waters. Evie shrugged. With 2 kids already, what choice do I have? The boys need a father. Dora curled her legs a little tighter as she wondered how her own daughter had fared over the years. One day she'd have to find out, hopefully before the girl got curious and turned up her door. You know what we need, Dora said? A day at the spa. Just you and me. And maybe a little retail therapy. I don't know, Evie hedged. He doesn't like me going out. Dora popped forward to the edge of her seat. So don't tell him. Say you're visiting your sick sister. I'm an only child. He looked at me with downcast eyes. Me too, Dora noted with surprise. Tell him it's an aunt or a cousin or something. I don't have any aunts or cousins. The boys say our family tree looks a lot like a telephone pole. Not many branches. Dora remained upbeat and undeterred. Tell him I'm having female problems and you're taking care of me. He doesn't like you. A spreading smile. Then we won't have to worry about him dropping by, Evie noted pleasantly, leaning in too, until their foreheads almost touched. Both women giggled. Evie pulled back, her brow furrowed, creasing her otherwise unblemished milk cream skin. He can trace the phone to find out where I am. He's done it before. We'll leave it at the house, Dora countered. What if he calls? Evie bit her lower lip. She really does have nice features, Dora thought, though they could use a little embellishment. I'll forward it to mine. Dora laid a hand on Evie's arm and smiled. Stop worrying, hon. This could be fun. We'll get you a makeover and a new outfit so he won't have time to even think of Lilith. What's wrong with him? Evie spread her hands down. What's wrong with this? Evie spread her hands down her dress. I just picked it up this weekend. Well, Dora pursed her lips and eyed the green leaf print praisingly. You've got to admit, it does make you look a little like a soccer mom. I am a soccer mom, Evie protested, then broke into sudden, unrestrained tears. I'll always be a soccer mom! She hid her face behind her hands. Oh, honey, what's wrong? Dora reached across to rub her arm. I didn't mean anything about your new dress. It's just lovely, really. The A-line really suits you. I'm pregnant again! Evie blurted through her fingers. Dora stammered, then leaned in and whispered, have you told him yet? I was waiting for the right moment. Evie wept each word between sharp, shallow breaths. Then I found those messages. He hates the way I look, I know it. I mean, look at me, I still haven't lost the weight from when I put on the boys. Oh no, hon, Dora cooed soothingly. There's nothing wrong with the way you look. Nothing a touch of makeup and maybe a workout or two wouldn't help? Really? Evie sniffled. You're not just saying that? She scrubbed away her tears and brushed the strays away from her eyes again. I'll tell you what, Dora said, sitting back. There's a yoga class starting next week at that women's-only gym around the corner. I'm in the market for a new instructor since mine retired. What do you say we go together? It'll be just the thing. What about the baby? Evie clenched her hands protectively over her belly. Her dark, honey, doe-like eyes welling with blue tears and refused to fall. Hun, these yoga girls know all sorts of moves, from beginner to advanced. All of them may be safe. A few might even help you get pregnant one more time, if that's what you really want. Dora smiled a knowing smile, then fetched out a handkerchief and passed it across the table. At least she didn't have mascara on. Here, I bought this for you today. Dora reached back into her bag and set a pre-wrapped blue box with gold ribbon before her. I was saving it for your birthday, but why wait? You shouldn't have, Evie eyed with mock suspicion. What is it? Something I saw and thought of you. Go ahead. Dora motioned with a hand. It won't bite. Evie pulled the snug cover from the box and set it aside. A small lidded urn lay nested inside in gold tissue paper. She held it up by one of its looped handles. Tiny black figures frolicked around its curved terracotta sides in a pantomime shadow play of celebratory dance. It's very pretty, you said. Is it Greek? Dora nodded. Open it. There's something else inside. Evie removed the lid and hooked her pinky on a silken black cord within. It snaked out as she lifted it. A flat pewter ring dangled at its end, 3 black words in careful cursive hand engraved in a circle around its surface: faith, love, and hope. The cord was looped through the pendant between faith and love, leaving hope alone and upside down at the bottom, where someone wearing it might read it and find inspiration. Oh, Dora, it's beautiful, Evie held it out. Sunlight glinted off its polished surface. It's pewter, Dora said. I know you can't wear anything flashy. I hope it's okay. The inscription reminds me of a verse in 1 Corinthians, Evie said as she admired it. I think that's by design. At least that's what the salesgirl told me. But I think they got it wrong. She said love should be at the bottom because it was the greatest of the 3, but I moved it. Hope is more important. They didn't get it wrong, Evie whispered through a different kind of tears. She pushed her chair back and skirted around the table to hug Dora. Thanks for being my friend. Her hair smelled nice, a clean, fresh, floral scent, though it was probably just her shampoo rather than an expensive perfume. Dora sometimes wished she could capture such simple innocence for herself. Oh my gosh, what time is it anyway? Evie pulled back and checked her watch, then hurriedly gathered up her things and slung her purse across her shoulders. I've got to stop at the store before I pick the boys up and get dinner ready. Dora smiled at her friend's resilience. Think about my offer. I will. We need to do this more often. Evie hugged her again, quickly this time. It was good to see you, Pandora. You too, Eve. Dora squeezed her back and released her. Give my love to Adam and the boys. Eve paused at the glass door to wave and scampered across the parking lot. As Pandora settled back onto the bench to finish her dessert, she wondered just how different her life might have been had she been born just a little further east.